if we win 3 straight, we we still gonna set out to do. We still can accomplish what we set out to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that has to be the mindset. You know what I mean? We still got uh Jared Goff at quarterback, and I told you we was talking, had a conversation earlier. Walt, I would take Jared Goff right now over. I would take him over Jalen Hurt right now. I would. You know what I'm saying? I swear that's the God's honest truth, man. I don't.
I mean, if you want to actually throw the football, you would.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, with his legs, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
different story. I mean, yeah, of course. But
Them legs ain't been as crazy since the Super Bowl either.
yeah, yo,
Now
you've been
they,
on
they
this.
was
The day that Super Bowl ended, you said, well, the day you said Jalen, there's something not right with Jalen Hurt. Ever since that game,
well,
man, and I think you're on
yeah,
something.
he was good though. He was damn good in that Super Bowl, but it's like the league caught up to him,
Hmm.
and they caught up to him real fast.
Yeah, it's just amazing how, yeah, like I say, hey, I was emotional seeing Dave Montgomery come up, man. That was like a gut punch. I mean, even Lee McNeil being hurt, even
Yeah,
Carlton Davis being hurt, it was like the offense is our baby, man. You know what I'm saying? That's our bread and butter, no matter what. I mean, yeah, we got our defense have vastly improved since last year. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? But Walt, I even think right now, okay, I think our defense right now, as it stands, even with missing Hutch and all the Pro Bowl players we've missed, I think we're still better than we were last year. You know what I'm saying? Even right now, I think if you look at, and I say that to say, with DJ Reader, Levi Onwuzurike, Josh Pascal, you know what I'm saying, Zadarius Smith, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Amik Robertson, Jack Campbell. These guys, that's a better dude. They're better than they were last year. I'm telling you, the only thing I don't like about it now, just moving forward, is Vildor. I just don't know. I don't think he's very good, and I think that they like today. Aaron
that was
Glenn,
very politely put though.
yeah, and Barry and Aaron Glenn said they built. Aaron Glenn was building them up today in the press conference. Aaron Glenn was just like, yeah, he can play nickel. We need him to play nickel. He can play man. He can play cover two. He's just saying, rattling off what he can do, but he's not very good at doing it. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, that's just how I feel. And
Kind
that's
of
the
how they talked about Will Harris for a few years.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Well, I mean, I feel comfortable this week. I really do, man. I mean, we'll go through the league. I think it's important. I think tonight we could show everybody it's not as bad as I know it looks bad on paper. It does. You know what I'm saying? When you say you got 22 guys on injured reserve, that's ridiculous. I've never seen that before in the history of the league since I've been watching. I've never seen that many people at one time. But I think it's something to be said. I don't think that the NFC is invincible like that. I think we made it competitive like it is, top heavy. I think the line's a big part of it, man. Like Aaron Glenn said, we 12-2. You know what I'm saying? He said we lost one game, we 12-2. Yeah, the loss to Tampa Bay is a lot different from the loss to Buffalo because we lost some players, you know what I'm saying? And the style of play was a little bit different. You know what I mean? Tampa, I think we only scored 16 points in that game. And the one thing I'm gonna hang my hat on moving forward, we still got our offense, man. And like I said, as in the open, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm totally comfortable with Craig Reynolds and Sion Vaki, Jamar Jefferson. I've been, Jamar Jefferson been my guy for the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't.
guy.
Yeah, since we got him out of San Diego State, it hasn't translated on the field. He has some big playability. He really does. I mean, and I'm not just saying that to talk him up. He does. He hasn't done it, but I think that I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay with Reynolds and Jefferson and Vaki. And make no mistake about it, somebody who thinks that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to carry the ball 25 times, not what he is, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not what Jahmyr Gibbs is. He's a guy that he's situational. He's tremendous in situational gains and third down, and just how we use them, 12, 15, 18, 20 touches a game. I think his touches will go up, but I don't know if it's going to be exactly turn around and hand it off like we did with Montgomery. You know what I'm saying, Walt?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say Jameer's probably, if you go back to how he was utilized at Alabama,
Yeah.
he was the focal point of that offense.
Yeah.
Bryce Young's final year there. He was Bryce Young's pretty much only weapon, his only consistent weapon in that backfield. And he did damn well. Damn well. He was in the race for the Heisman for a second, even though it's pretty much a quarterback's award.
Yeah.
And he was playing with Bryce Young anyway, so he wasn't going to get that. But if you look at how they used him, they put him in the slot. Same thing
Yeah.
here. They put him in the slot. It was tosses out the backfield. It was counters. It was directs. It was traps. They ran him like a regular running back. I don't understand why people think he just can't carry the load. And by carry the load, I mean the new definition of carry the load by committee, which is, okay, the head guy, which is now him, he may get, his carries may go from 14 to 22.
Yeah.
He can handle 22 carries. That's 22 carries. Then you're talking about getting up some screens and every now and then and getting them out in space. They're not going to run him into the ground, but he is going to be a part of our offense that they're going to showcase.
Focal point, yes.
Because, it's gotten to a point where they listen. This dude was a top 20 talent in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This may be his opportunity. And we talked about this when he got drafted, that sometimes we hate to see it, but it always seems to come down to the veteran and the rookie. The veteran being Montgomery, who he came over here, resurrected his career, playing really well. They draft a younger, talented running back. You take him under your wing, y'all growing together, then boom, you get hurt. Yeah. Now the young dog take off. And it may be meant for it to happen like that for him because he's talented enough to be the feature guy of a lot of teams' offenses in the NFL. Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys wanted him to trade up to get him. The Cincinnati Bengals wanted to trade up to get him. So I don't think he's going to have any issue as far as stepping up and shining when his opportunity arises now. And like I was talking about earlier today, if you look at the fact that, okay, I understand that when you're talking about losing Montgomery, you lose a guy who he's kind of like the heart of it all.
Yep.
He's the guy that keeps everything together on offense, him and Penei Sewell. He's the guy that's going to take a 1-yard gain and turn it into a 3-yard gain. He's going to break a lot of tackles, but you're also losing a guy that's been beat up a lot.
Yeah.
His career in the league, not just here in Detroit, but also Chicago, he's been beat up a decent amount. He's been nicked up a decent amount this season. So what you lose in him, you gain in fresh legs.
Yeah.
Vaki, they don't get no fresher than him. He ain't got no carries. So you're talking about, and I think Vaki's 24, 23. So you're talking
23.
about, so you're talking about young legs in him. Even though Jamar Jefferson's been in the league for 3 years now, he doesn't have any wear and tear. Those are young legs.
Yeah. This time of season. Yeah.
Craig been around for a minute, but Craig never carried the load for no team in the NFL. Yeah. So you're losing Montgomery, but you still have Gibbs, and you're gaining 3 pairs of young athletic legs. Now, if this offensive line is good, and it, last week wasn't just a hiccup for him, and you and I talked about this in the pre-show, it could have been a situation where maybe Buffalo was just a bad matchup at that point in time. Buffalo caught us, and we not making no excuses because every team in the league got injuries. But let's be honest, Josh Allen carves up a lot of teams in the league. Yeah. But when it comes to us, he destroyed a really, really bad front seven. Just keep it at 100. He destroyed a bad front seven. Yeah. Now, do I believe that if the playoffs came around and we played them again and we were healthy, that we would lose to them? I don't. I think we would beat them.
I think they smash them. Right.
Yeah, I think mainly because we downloaded information now. We done seen you. Mm-hmm. Y'all seen us too, granted, but the thing is this, y'all didn't see us healthy.
Yeah. I totally, man, just I was running off emotion for a day or two, right? Because like I said, it was like a gut punch, man. To see just us, you know what I'm saying, lose the guy. It's just demoralizing, you know
What
what I'm
up,
saying,
Neil?
to a point.
Yeah.
But like I said, now get our legs up under us. You know what I'm saying? Let's analyze the situation. Let's see what's ahead of us. Like I said, I'm smart enough to know that these games aren't just like calling them at like just looking at them on a piece of paper and saying this team gonna win, this team gonna win, and this team gonna win. We know it never happens that way. You know what I'm saying? It never happens that way. So I think that we are really, really like fortunate, first of all, to have uh the culture. I hate to say culture, but I think we do have a winning culture here. You know what I'm saying? I do think not all of a sudden we got a bunch of losers. You know what I'm saying, in the locker room that's not
They
going
still ain't
to
lost 2 games in a row in 2 years,
in
man.
2 years, right? They don't have that in their DNA, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Offensive line don't have Manny Ramirez and Damian Woody and Riley Reef, and you know what I'm saying. That's
Aaron
old.
Gibson.
Aaron Gibson, 395 pounds. Aaron Gibson. Yeah, we got Skip now scoring touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. Like I said, as a fan, I let the analyst part go and just react as a fan. And sometimes it's like you sound stupid sometimes. Oh well, they're just like ESPN just totally discount what the lines are. I mean, everybody who cares what they say, but what I'm getting at is it is way noticeable now. Like Shannon Sharp, Ryan Clark, Colin Coward, all these guys that I still like. They don't have to like the lines for me to like them, but what I'm saying is they just like it's out the window now. You know what I mean? Like it's not we don't have a chance, and I do like that part about it because let Philly let them down now. You know what I'm saying? Let somebody else let them down that they trying to build up, and
Yeah.
I just totally think that.
Trey Finesse.
Yeah, what's up, Trey? What's up, Neil? What's up, everybody, man? Corey, yeah, what's up, Ralphie? You know, when it comes down to I just don't think the NFL has a superhuman team. Trust me, Josh Allen won that MVP. I think no matter what, I think he's gonna win the MVP. They got New England this week too. Yeah, I could see another 4 or 5 touchdowns for him, and he deserved it. I mean, Josh Allen went. Remember what we was looking at the stats? It was like. Remember, it was like week 10, and he hadn't even thrown an interception yet. Like half the season was over, and he had like 12 touchdowns with no picks. So Josh Allen been balling, man. And he done came up short a couple times. He done had less than teams doing everything. It's his time, man, to be like put on that pedestal above Lamar Jackson, above Patrick Mahomes, for this year. You know what I'm saying? It always get to that point, you know what I'm saying, where, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just the stars are aligned for a certain player in whatever league
Or
we
a team
watch
for that matter.
for whatever team, right? Like you
Lions or
said,
Bills.
yeah. And the Bills aren't this juggernaut of a team. They not. You know what I'm saying? They're really not. But only thing I'm gonna say is this: the only thing that was really uncomfortable out of the whole deal, our offensive line didn't play good. I know that for a fact. I watched our guys get pancaked numerous times, and I had never seen that before. Glasgow was awful. He was totally awful to me. He totally a weak link, man. It was really disturbing. Frank Ragnow got ran over like a truck a couple times, and trust me,
Yeah,
they've been
it
so
happens.
good. It happens. It happens. I'm not saying that they're not good anymore or anything like that. I'm just saying it was eye opening for me because I had never seen it. So.
I will say this, man. Going back to some points you made, agree with everything 100%. I will say this, and you said this to me earlier today. We had talked on the phone, and it's kind of stuck with me for the rest of the day. I think this team, even though I personally believe they built the play from behind or ahead, and I mean that figuratively, not just as far as score wise in games. I think that this team is put together completely where they kind of needed to be disrespected. And I think that's a big reason why I truly believe they're gonna beat the brakes off the Bears this weekend.
They're gonna power
Because
drive the
they've been
Bears.
getting disrespected all week.
Yep.
Now, this is a
Yep.
12-2 team who everybody is all of a sudden saying ain't no good. They hear
Right.
everything.
Right.
They hear the
Right.
national media, they hear the local media. This
Right.
is a team that is built to play with a chip on their shoulder. So all y'all did all week was just put a battery pack in this team's back.
Yeah, yep. Yep.
Be just for the most of it. That's all y'all
That's
did
right.
because they already got a chip on their shoulder. They
Mhm,
head
mhm.
coach with a chip on his shoulder. The whole team is full of players with chips on their shoulders. They used to people doubting them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they got to 12-2. Well,
That's right.
actually, they got to 12-1, and y'all was still play hating us. Y'all was still doubting us. Y'all was still telling us our quarterback wasn't good enough. Y'all
Mhm.
still had the nerves to tell us that Sam Darnold was more trustworthy than our quarterback. Y'all was going to all the lengths y'all could to disrespect our quarterback.
Mhm.
Our
Yeah.
quarterback threw 5 touchdowns for what? Almost 500 yards, matching Josh Allen,
Yeah.
and y'all basically turned a blind eye to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I get it. Like
Yeah.
this team needs a chip on the shoulder, and I think
I
you
think
came with an angle that I didn't come with, and I appreciate that because, like I said, it made me think that maybe this team needed this loss. Maybe this team needed some extra hate
yeah.
because they was winning too much. Not to say that there's no such thing as winning too
I
much.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but
I
when
get what you're
everybody
saying.
start massaging you a little bit,
Yep. Like you
telling
always
you,
say,
yeah,
reading your own clippings,
yeah,
your own newspaper clippings. And I like you said, I think they're gonna take the Bears, put them in a headlock, and you know how it on wrestling when you see somebody about to get DDT, I think they getting ready to DDT the Bears, dude. And all the games always close with the Bears. Not this Sunday. I don't think. At first I was kind of like, man, the Bears gonna beat them. They've been struggling. This state Super Bowl really to beat the Lions. No, I don't see it. I just think that this is a different Lions team, man. I swear to God they probably try to run up the score on this team if they could. You know what I'm saying? So, um,
there's
I
somebody
all
watching us that don't like us.
yeah yeah
No
yeah I,
Super Bowl anytime soon.
yeah
Detroit Kitty's overrated, overhyped. Oh boy, man, he got us.
yeah. But you
Ouch.
know what though? I mean, I like comments like that. You know why? Because it shows that the Lions are a conversation. You know what I'm
Oh
saying
yeah.
to me. You know what I'm saying, and for those kind of comments. I mean, you're not hurting us by saying that. You know what I'm saying that they're not going to make the
And then
Super
follow it
Bowl.
up with Casey
Yeah,
saying this, man.
yeah.
Appreciate you, Casey, for
Yeah,
sure.
Casey been with us since day one. I mean,
Corey
all
Patterson
these
too,
guys.
all y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We appreciate y'all. And I don't take it to heart. You know what I'm saying? These guys, man,
That
are
is
well
funny.
versed in you think Panay Sewell ain't ready to play ball, man? You think Amon-Ra St. Brown ain't ready to play? Yeah, them guys ready to play, man. I don't care what nobody say on the offense. I just really believe that Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta is starting to get some traction now. And he's been hurt and dealing with some stuff. I think that Tim Patrick has been tremendous. Oh, that
Yeah.
touchdown he had. Tim Patrick has been a godsend, man. You know what I'm saying? Him,
He gave golfer a consistent red zone threat. Even though
yeah,
I do believe Laporta can be that, we pretty much all believe Laporta hasn't been 100% all season, but
yeah,
having Patrick, a dude who's 6'5" with that
phenomenal.
wingspan, who
Yes,
catches everything that you can just throw the ball to in any spot in the red zone, we call it a gimme touchdown. You need some of those layups in the red zone. They can't always be just run, run, run. But
yeah.
yep,
Yeah, I love it. I just like I said, well, I mean, I just think in some ways, this team is better than the team last year. Still, I mean, I'm saying that still with losing Hutchinson and losing Elaine McNeil and Dave Montgomery. I just think if it come down to it, we can hang our hat on our offense, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the guys can score. They're not going to go in and score 10 points. I'm not worried about scoring 10, 17 points. The Lions can score 24, 27, 30, 28. You know what I'm saying? Um, at this point, like the Vikings pose a threat. Of course. I mean, you'll be like a real naive person, okay? If you say you're not worried about the Packers, the Vikings, and the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? But everybody on this Eagle bat, bandwagon. I told you today. I think the Packers could and the Vikings could beat the Eagles as well. I do. I think the Lions, Packers, Vikings are the class in NFC. That's how I feel about it. I mean, I know the Eagles' record is the same as ours, but
I
I
think
just think they
Green
can
Bay
be beat.
probably. I think Green Bay probably a little bit more, even though I like Darnold's weapons in
Hmm.
Minnesota better. But I don't know if I trust Darnold against that Eagles defense. So
Well,
I think that's the key.
yeah, yeah,
That could be the key. And then maybe it's
yeah.
just me disrespecting Darnold the way people disrespected Jared Goff for years.
I got you. I understand. Understood.
It could be me just being disrespectful, not
I
trying to, but
I finally came to that declare, and I'm like you. I'm like, man, I gotta see it. I gotta see it. Donald do it all year, and he has. I give him credit for that because I didn't believe he would be the guy either that would make an impact. But if you look at Darnold and Goff stats, they're damn near identical. I think people not talking about. I think Jared Goff is on pace for a record touchdown. I think the most touchdowns he's had is 32 in a season. I think Jared Goff's got 31 touchdown passes. I think, and Darnold's
yeah.
got damn near the same. I mean, their stats are identical.
Both
And would
got
it
10 interceptions.
yeah, both got 10
Yeah.
picks. I think it would be something here to see the Lions, Vikings for the division, a flex game, Sunday night. I think that's what's going to come down to, Wall. I really believe that's what's going to happen now. And you said it since like week 5. You like September, we were sitting here going through the schedule like, dude, week 18 against Minnesota. Week 18 against Minnesota. I'm like, nah, man, we gonna rest it.
I
We
mean,
gonna have
the
everything
Vikings are
wrapped up.
pain. They a pain in the ass, man.
Yo, always.
Lions fans know the Vikings are a pain in the ass. Even when the Bears had their lean years, which the
Yeah.
Bears have had a lot of lean years,
Mm.
the Vikings were always a pain in the ass. Whether it was Brad Johnson at quarterback or not so much Christian Ponder. That Christian
Oh
Ponder was
man.
part of the dark times
Yeah.
in Minnesota, but they tough, man. They tough. They draft well. They
Yeah.
compete. They got a damn good head coach. So yeah, I mean, you got to respect them. I just don't. I haven't seen the track record from Darnold. None of us have. Like this is the only good season he's had.
Man, he
Well, we
looked
talking
good.
about this deep into the season because when he was with Carolina, he played well. What the first 4 games of the season, I think, and
Yeah.
then the wheels fell off.
Yep.
And then he
Yep.
went back to Jet Sam Darnold. And then he went to Frisco. And then that didn't really work out there. So it's like, I have every reason to not believe in him because we've never seen him play this well. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that ultimately, can Minnesota go to Philly and win? I think they can. I think Green Bay is probably more equipped because I believe Green Bay's running game is built a little better to have to
Yeah.
deal with Philly. I like Jordan Love better than Darnold. It's kind of like splitting hairs, I guess, between
Yeah,
who's
me
really
too.
better right now. But yeah, there's nobody that really scares me like that as far as the NFC. So
Yeah, yeah.
Corey Pass and Sam Darnold box head heaven. That dude, that dude
Man,
do look like Frankenstein out there,
yeah,
man.
they look good, man. I'm just gonna give credit with dude. Vikings look good, dude. They receiving, everything is crisp. The route running, the awareness. I'm telling you, they got it working. But I'm saying we can still beat them. But I don't. I think their defense is a little bit overrated. I don't think their defense is as good as. I mean, Brian Flores, damn good schemer.
Yeah.
I'm willing to just put it all on the line, man, on week 18 because I'm not as distraught like I was a week ago. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, man, we can still play with these teams. I don't think that it's
gonna
that
be
much
difficult.
of a mismatch. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, of course, but
I don't think it will be the next couple weeks. I think that's the key thing because I think Frisco is kind of a toss up simply because
yeah,
we don't know what the hell or how the hell this team is going to respond flying
yeah,
across town, across to go play in California at that time. Your body got
yeah,
to adjust because they 3 hours behind us.
yeah. Your West Coast, yeah.
Yeah,
And weather.
but we should still beat them, I guess. You know what I mean? We got our injuries, they got their injuries, but
I
it's
think they'll smash I think we'll smash 49ers, dude. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll be up to play that game for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think we win the next two, and then all that everything's gonna be riding for the division number one seed against Minnesota. I think that's how it's gonna play out. You know what I'm saying? Unless listen, we got the schedules right here. Minnesota's playing Seattle. Now, Seattle is interesting in this whole conversation because Seattle is trying to win the West, right? With Cardinals and the Rams. So, and this is Seattle's last home game. Yeah, because they last two games is Chicago and at the Rams, week 18. So Seattle need this game, man. You know, they last home game, you know, they might not come back to that stadium the rest of this season. So,
They
you
ain't
know what
no
I'm
good
saying?
either. They
Yeah,
finished.
but Minnesota got to go in there and win. It's a tough place to play. Then you go Green Bay. They playing Monday night against New Orleans. That's a W.
Niggas
Um,
ain't shit.
then Green Bay, Minnesota's playing week 17. That might be uh yeah. It just what Corey said. I was gonna say that too. If Geno Smith don't play, the season's over anyway for them. So I do agree with that. It's
It was
over.
over with them, man.
Yeah.
They wasn't
But
going nowhere with Geno, man.
yeah,
They might have made the playoffs, but
because Green Bay is what 10-4. They could win out and be 13. Yeah, they could be. Yeah, the Lions pretty much need to win this week to get Green Bay out of reach. But we got two games at hand on the Packers. So then Minnesota's got Seattle, Green Bay, and then at Detroit. So I'm just comfortable with Jared Goff too. I think that he still like doesn't get the credit. I think Casey right on cue said the same thing. And it's like right now, I'm just saying the way this season's played out, just 2024 season so far, totally confident with Jared Goff, dude. You know what I'm saying? I think we can beat anybody just because we got him. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna ruin the game, or I think that he's smart enough and been there, just like Casey said, enough to know he knows what he has. I think they questioning his ability is not even a question anymore. Just expect him to get it done. So
well, let me ask
yeah.
you this question because it kind of counteracts what we hear on a yearly basis in regards to how they evaluate the MVP league. With as trash as everybody nationally says our defense is, and Golf playing out of his mind, shouldn't that kind of like put him right there at the top of the MVP race? I mean, Buffalo, their defense hasn't been better than us for the entire season, but once we
Mhm.
started losing players, our defense got worse. Their defense got better. It got healthier and it got better.
Yeah.
But if Golf does this and leads us to the number one seed with a bunch of guys off the street on defense, isn't that more impressive?
Oh boy, I think we got to get number one seed
Or
though.
is they gonna give Ben
Listen.
Johnson all the credit? He not even out there on the field playing.
Yeah, a little bit of it's gonna be a little bit of that. But what I can say about Josh Allen is, beating the Lions, beating the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Kansas City. I mean, he got two good wins under his belt. You know what I'm saying? But even though you can look at Jared Goff, you can say he beat the Packers twice. He beat Minnesota. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say that, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he beat
Josh is
Stafford.
playing in a division where
Yeah,
only one team gonna finish over 500, and it's gonna be his.
that's
So,
true.
is
And
he
he beat
benefiting for
Stafford.
what Brady benefited from all them years? Like nobody brought that up, and I'm glad you brought that up. He
Yeah,
playing in a way weaker division
yeah,
than what Jared Goff playing in.
yeah. You had to beat Darnold. Had to beat Glove twice. He beat Kyler Murray. He beat Dak Prescott and pretty much sent him out for the season. Yeah, I mean, yeah, look, just what you said, man. You know what I mean? Beat CJ Stroud. So, you know what I'm saying? So, Golf does have some impressive wins, but I mean, ultimately, it's about who probably gonna finish, first in in their conference. Right now, the Lions still got a better record than Buffalo. You know what I mean? So you got
So,
a
who
point.
have the biggest moment? Let's
Yeah.
say it mess around and does come down to week 18 against Minnesota and Golf has a 380 game for 4 touchdowns or whatever, and we get to 14 wins or whatnot, or 15. And
Hmm.
I just feel like it just seems like they just have their minds made up that they not gonna like him.
Hmm.
And they trying to find any and every way they can to not give him the award.
Yeah.
Just remember, 3 weeks ago it was Saquon. They was pushing Saquon over him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they trying to find anybody. They was talking about Jalen Hurts a month ago.
Yeah, I'm not thinking Jalen Hurt for anything right now, man.
Yeah, it's like is that,
and
but that's the extent that they go to not give it to him.
that game that they had last week, Philly, I'm not pressed like, oh my God, they way better than the Lions just off what they did last week. You know what I'm saying? I think the Lions' body of work is better than the Eagles, in my opinion, for this year. You know what I'm saying? Now things changes, a little bit moving forward. Philly got some injuries. Brandon Graham's out for the season. They don't have as many as the Lions, but man, I just think the Lions' body of work is better. You know what I'm saying than the Eagles, and it'll all show up. It all show up. Only thing I would suggest is we play that game at Ford Field, man. If we wind up playing the Eagles, you know what I'm saying. It's going to be a good chess match, and I think moving forward, I think that Vikings game is a perfect tune-up for the playoffs because, like you said, I didn't even think about this when you said
Intensity.
that about the intensity, getting the bye week, and then turn around if we do make the big game. You get another bye week. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think about that. That's brilliant. But
so you talking about in a 1 month span getting 2 weeks off?
Get 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Boy, that would be a welcome sight for the Lions. You know what I'm saying? If that was to play out like that, but I think another bye would do us significant, and then obviously the home field. So, I mean, and then if you just move forward, I don't know what the status is on Broderick Martin. I thought I was gonna find it this week, today.
Right now, he's not even listed. Listen, I'm gonna be as honest as I could be, because me and you talked about this a few weeks ago. I don't really give a damn. There's certain dudes on this team, man. I don't wash my hands of. I hate to do that for a dude who I talked about prior to the draft that I felt Detroit, he would be a guy that they may take a chance on around the 6th round, 5th round. They took him in the 3rd.
You did, yep.
And him and Emmanuel Mosley, Ifeatu Melifonwu, like this is the type of season where we were 12-2 without you dudes. We are in a situation now where the season is 97% done. We need your help, and you dudes still can't give a shit.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point where, listen, man, we got draft picks. We didn't do what a lot of people wanted us to do prior to the trade deadline, which was trade away a bunch of assets for Max Crosby or Myles Garrett or whatever. We made the minor decisions. We made the minor acquisitions we did make, and they turned out to help. But you can also say, countering that none of those moves we made were anything that has been long lasting. Now, Zadarius Smith has given us all he's got since he's been here, but he's still a guy that's north of 30. Now, we probably get 2 years out of Zadarius.
Yeah.
But this is a team that, man, we need healthy bodies. That's the whole thing. There's no reason why dudes who've been on this team for 2 years, 3 years, and I get it, nobody goes out there and says, I want to be hurt. I want to get hurt. But some dudes' bodies just don't hold up in the sport. These are guys who've been there for 2 years. A couple guys been there for 3 years. Yeah. We're down to 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th phone calls. Hey, man, you in shape? Can you pass the physical? Can you run 3 miles? Come on down here. And we got guys that should have been here week 3, not here. Supposed to have been here week 7, ass is not here. Week 15, ass is still not here. Got put in a 21-day window, 21 days passed, your ass still not here. Like, I'm good. I'm good. And I understand giving guys a chance because you see these guys play. You see these guys practice week in, week out. You see how hard they work. I get it. You see how integral they are in regards to helping out teammates, getting them prepared for games and this and that. But enough is enough. We're in a situation where guys that should be helping us, and we talked about this before the season started.
Yeah.
What if Emmanuel Mosley came back towards the end of the season and played a major role for us? Well, it's week 15 now. We kind of predicted this.
16.
And he's not here though. Now, if we go to the injuries real quick, and me and you both can go over these. Nothing is specified right now because it's still Thursday. They got a whole day of practice tomorrow. But
Mhm.
Graham, he dealing with a knee. He didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. Of course, Montgomery's out with a knee injury. Frank dealing with a back. He didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. Probably do a full day Friday tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure we'll play Sunday.
Mhm.
Brian Branch dealing with a calf. Not worried about that. He didn't practice on Wednesday. He was limited today. You brought up Jalen Reeves-Maven earlier, dealing with a neck injury. He was unspecified for Wednesday, and he was limited today. Taylor Decker just getting rest on Tuesday and didn't practice on Wednesday. Full practice on Thursday. Then you're
Yeah.
talking about Ifeatu Melifonwu. Now, this is good, I guess.
Mhm.
Hand. That's all we gonna say. Hand.
Hey.
Full day of practice
Yeah, yeah.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, he
Hand.
practiced 2 days in a row. Yeah, that's good. That's good for
Hand.
Melly.
Dealing with a hand.
Yeah, if he might be out there, he might be
Yeah.
out there this week.
Okay. Trevor Nowaski gutting it out. Had a concussion. Full day of practice Tuesday and Wednesday. Head, not a hand.
Mm-hmm.
This man had a full day of practice dealing with a head injury. DJ Reader, rest, good for him. Didn't practice Wednesday, Tuesday. Had a full day of practice today. That's what I want to hear. That boy guts things out. Zadarius resting. Amon Ra resting. You know he was dealing with the flu last week.
Yeah, he had
And
food poisoning. Yeah.
and Kevin Zeitler dealing with rest. dealing with rest.
Dylan rest.
He got some
He
rest.
got he got put to rest. Zeitler got put to rest Sunday, dude. Oh my god.
Man,
he was horrible. Zeitler was horrible, man.
You know what? We talked about this too. We
That
gonna
was
get
the
into them
worst
draft
game.
shows, man. We gonna get into
Yeah.
them draft shows because Zeitler,
Yeah.
Glasgow, Source Doll, like
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
ain't above
Christian
things.
Mahogany, you know, he been hurt all year. Christian Mahogany. But I think he in a plans, but like you said, that's a whole nother
Well, I don't even count Mahogany because Mahogany missed everything this season. And he was thrown into a situation where, okay, go play left guard or right guard in the middle of a playoff run. You know, so but hey, he got all the off season, hopefully. And hopefully he can give us something next year.
Now, now that the luster has worn off of Quan Alexander and Jamal Adams, where you at with them two guys, man? I'm hearing this Calais Campbell thing. They were kicking that around on the radio today. That he could be released by the Dolphins after this week. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody that, you know, that the media look like they're trying to throw it on the wall and see if it sticks. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? I would love to get him here as some reinforcement. Now it's like, man, we trying to get anybody who available at this point that's any good. But I mean, I would get it. You know, absolutely try to get Calais Campbell in here if it don't go right in Miami. So what I'm saying is, I mean, moving forward, I think that the guys that we have are pros, been in situation. They've played a lot of NFL football. I don't think the moment's going to be too big for him. It's not like you got a rookie out there, you know what I'm saying? Walt making his first start in the NFL. You know what I mean? I mean, Quan Alexander, David Long, Jamal Adams, you know, those guys are kind of interchangeable, maybe in there at the same time. I mean, obviously we know their limitations. They wouldn't be available this late in the season if they didn't have limitations. Like, and you mentioned David Long. I think David Long could have a spot on this team in the future. You know what I mean? That's one guy you might want to bring him back. And, you know, I'm just looking for these guys to be, what I'm saying is I think that the veteran leadership of this team is gonna work wonders, man. I really believe that. I think that, you know, it's not like, you know, you got a young Houston Texans team out there with a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, guys that has only played 2 seasons, you know. Jack Campbell, I give him a lot of guy respect, man. Jack Campbell still out there, the Lone Ranger, out there balling. You know what I'm saying? He got taken out of the game last week. I really like to.
Hey, but he another dude benefiting. Same thing we talked about with Gibbs and Montgomery, his mentor, going down ahead of him. Yeah. We talked about this last year. It was going to probably take, well, not to this damn extent. But
you
we didn't think we would lose everybody. But we kind of said that, you know, it would probably take for Anzalone to go down for Jack to start to flourish.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. Jack Campbell's been good, man. Like I say, he had a rough day. I just think that everything that happened was just uncharacteristic. Yeah, St. Brown fumbling the ball. We never see that. You know what I'm saying? St. Brown is sure-handed as the most sure-handed receiver in the league, bro. He don't fumble. You know what I'm saying? He did that. So a lot of weird stuff happened, you know what I'm saying, in the game as a whole, couple onside kicks. Um, if you just let the emotion part out of it and just sit back and analyze. Like like you say, if we were mutual fans, just watch like the game tonight, Chargers and Browns. Let's just say you watched the game and you don't know nothing about the Lions and you don't really care for the Bills. You just watch those two teams play. I don't think that nobody went away from it saying, "Man, the Lions were overmatched." You know what I'm saying? Like they lost, we lost, but you
well,
wouldn't
unless
look at
you're
the
a Vikings, Packers, or Bears fan.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, well that's a whole different animal. But I'm saying like basically they counting us out because our injuries. It's not like man the Bills just beat the Lions because they're just like way better or they got more
Well,
talent or you know what I'm
I think they
saying?
still slighting our quarterback though, because
Yeah.
usually if they feel like you got an elite quarterback, they still give you credit. Remember,
Mhm.
people were still saying that the Jets had the chance to make the playoffs because they had Aaron Rodgers, simply because they had him. So it's like our quarterback threw for 5 touchdowns and almost 500 yards in a loss, and it's like still, nah, y'all ain't no good. Y'all still
Mhm.
dropped us down to seventh. Like
Right.
they had power rankings that had the Denver Broncos ranked ahead of us.
They looking good tonight, but
Bo
yeah,
Nix, huh?
Bo Nix out there balling, bro. He out there balling 21-10, second quarter. Yeah, but yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Like this week, so I'm glad you got this up 6.5 point favorite. Over and under is 48. Money line. Man, Chicago. That's all you need to know on the money line. If you feeling froggy and you want to win some money, I mean, Chicago's minus 300. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, it's almost like a lot. Some money is on Chicago actually. To be yeah, that's minus 300. A plus is that plus 300 or minus? For
No, that's
Chicago,
minus.
minus 300. Okay, I can barely
Yeah,
see it, but
minus.
yeah. So it could go either way if, as far as how the money is on it right now, because a lot of people thinking Chicago gonna catch Detroit. You know what I mean? In the sweet spot. You know what I mean? And we got them. It's cold a couple days before Christmas, so we could maybe get got. You know what I mean? We haven't lost two games in a row in a couple years,
They
so
can
they
think
might
whatever
feel.
they want.
Yeah, we no, I don't think that, but I'm saying it's just that's how Vegas don't want the Lions. Number one, they want the Lions not to win, bro. That's a lot of money to pay out if the Lions. I realized that somebody said it on the radio, and then I went and confirmed it, dude. It's something like a billion, upwards of $1 billion or something like that. Like, if the Lions win the Super Bowl from future bets and stuff like that. So, I mean, right now they piling up. They want somebody to come and knock us off, and I think they were kind of glad Buffalo did them a favor. It kind of knocked them down a peg as far as favorites and bet now. Because right now, ain't it ironic that Buffalo's the betting favorite right now to win it all? You know what I'm saying? Because they beat us. So,
Yeah, I mean, the 6.5, 48.
mhm.
Um, the unwritten rule is that you never take it's 6.5, but it's 7. So
Yeah,
you're gonna have to win. They're gonna have to win by seven,
win by
7 points or
7.
more. Yeah,
Yep.
but the unwritten rule to the gambling is that never take a touchdown favorite underdog. You and I talked about this earlier in the show. For everybody who didn't join us earlier in the beginning, there's something about, and I understand this team is injured. They got what they going on. Bears got their issues. Detroit's on the road. There's no way they should be doing this, doing that. This is a team that was disrespected all week.
Hmm.
You think they didn't hear about how they're frauds, they're no longer favorites, their defense is awful, they stand no chance of getting to the championship. The Eagles are the biggest threat, not us. They heard all these things. And usually I don't advise people to take a road favorite by a touchdown. I would in this situation. I definitely would. And you and I have went back and forth throughout the year early on about not trusting those point spreads, especially with Detroit being favored by too much on the road. And they are well over that on the road, success
Mhm.
rate wise, when it comes to the oh, it just slipped my mind. But
Mhm.
when it comes to covering the spread on the road all season, they've been doing it
Yeah,
and doing it
yeah.
easy. I would take it this week simply because they
Me
took a
too.
bad loss. If they would have beat Buffalo last week, I might feel different. But for them to lose to Buffalo the way they lost to Buffalo, the defense was terrible. And adding in everything I was just talking about as far as the disrespect they received all week, I don't see how Chicago wins this game unless the football guys take over and weird stuff start happening.
Yeah.
Fumbles,
Yeah.
tipped
Fumbles.
interceptions,
Yup. Yup.
kickoff
It's-
returns for touchdowns.
I don't.
I just don't. I think this
I
team is
don't
too
see it.
focused to lose to the Bears this week, and
Yep.
I
I
do
don't
think they
see it
cover
this
that
week.
spread.
Me too. Me too. Big time. I think that it may not be a bunch of points in this game. I think I could see 28-13 game, 28-17, something along that
No,
line.
I think they mad, man.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
they
I
mad.
mean, I can see it running up the score too, but I mean, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I mean, that Lake Michigan win something else, boy. I was there last time, last year, me and my family. It was cold, man. It was cold. Christmas week, it was cold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and like somebody said, of course, I this team can play on a road. We can beat anybody. You know what I mean? I don't think the elements matter at all. But I think we're gonna do just enough to just beat this team. You know what I'm saying, and beat them by what we need to win the game decisively. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm not worried about the Bears one bit. And you know me, I was all over the Bear. I'm like, this is gonna be the Lions' toughest competition. Now, let's be honest. Like we all seen the Thanksgiving game, and we escaped. We barely won because
And Vegas hope gamblers are factoring that in.
yeah, because Caleb, make no mistake about it. If he gets some more air under that ball, that should have been a touchdown to Keenan Allen. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna. I seen the last game, and the Bears always play a line. They always play tight games. These two teams, but I think for the first time in a while, I think we're gonna go in there and take care of business, man. And I don't think it's gonna be any doubts. You know what I mean? Like in the fourth quarter, close game. I'd be shocked if it's close in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? I think it's already going to be decided. So
Just thinking about the over under.
I think it's high this week. I wouldn't take the over still, even though I know the Lions going to smash them. Well, I think they are. I'm staying under the 48. Like I said, I think it's going to be 20 around 27-17, something like that. That's what I'm going.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under mainly because I don't think the Bears are gonna be able to score too much. I do think
Nope.
Detroit cracks 30 though. I do think they do that. I
Hmm.
could see it is gonna get close to it. I could see somewhere around 30 to 17,
Yeah. Yeah.
30 to 10, 30 to
Yeah.
14, something like that.
31-17.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
can we
just
can
think they
we
too focused, man.
Yeah, can we get some Al Quadin Muhammad out there? Can you get Muhammad out there? It was weird. I don't know if nobody asked the question to any Dan Campbell or Aaron Glenn. Why didn't Muhammad play last week? I don't get why he been on fire for 3 weeks and then he just didn't play. It was weird, man. Last week he didn't get one snap. I didn't see him out there one snap last week.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think scheme wise, these coordinators, when they have certain matchups, so with certain teams, they may not view you as somebody that can help them in that situation. Now, I don't understand how AG, and I don't know if AG views it that way or not, but I don't know how anybody would view it in that situation when you don't have any edge rushers and no
Mhm.
defensive tackles for the most part.
Yeah,
We're
you ain't
not
got no
really in place to
choice.
be, yeah, we're not really in a spot to be benching nobody unless it's stuff going on in the locker room that we don't know about. And that's always 100% the case because at the end of the day, we're reporting on what we see. We go back, we watch the games, we watch the field, we try to be as rational as possible when we break things down and bring things to you guys and you ladies, but we're not in the locker room. So we're not privileged to know what these teams, these coaches are going through with these players on a daily basis. But I just felt like, and I'm with you. Al, was it Al? Al Kadeem,
Qadim,
Al Kadeem, Al
El
Kadeem
Qadim,
Muhammad.
El Qadim Muhammad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at 6'3", 242. He's got long arms, very, very quick. Short area quickness is great. He closes very well on the pocket. And he's a guy that you can utilize in a lot of stunts. Now, is he going to play with his hand in the dirt against tackles? Hell no, because he's too light. He's not physical enough to do that. But as I was talking about earlier with you and a few other people, you have to be able to reinvent your defense in this type of situation. We have no defensive tackles. Let's be honest about it. I don't consider Broderick Martin until Broderick Martin is out there on the field actually performing. I want to see Broderick Martin's first 5 tackle game. 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack and a half, maybe 2 sacks, whatever. I want to see a realistic impact, a forced fumble here and there. I want to see a real impact. Until I see a real impact for him, I can't factor him in. DJ's there. No matter what, DJ's going through it. He's going through it. He's suiting up. He's playing. Outside of DJ Reader, who's a true nose tackle, you got Levi and Wuzarike, who's a natural 3 tech. You got Josh Pascal, a guy who can play some 5 tech. He can play some 4 tech depending on the type of offensive tackle you got him lined up over, and a little bit of 3, but he's not great at none of them. So outside of those 3 defensive tackles, what else do you really have? And that's the problem right there. And it's like we haven't, and we go to these free agent lists. We are like, I'm pretty sure I did it, you did it, we all did it once guys started falling off like clockwork. And we go through these free agent lists, these available free agent lists, and we say, well, what about this guy? What about that guy? What about that guy? Yeah. And we don't know. That guy may have a mental issue. That guy may not take criticism well or coaching. This guy may have a chronic illness or something. Like these dudes, and you just mentioned it, like even with Jamal Adams. If a guy can play, he's not going to sit out of the league for 2 years.
Yeah.
Fans around here keep bringing up Ndamukong Suh. Leave that man alone.
Yeah, if you look
that man is done. He didn't play last year, and then he only played 7 games the prior year, I think. That man's not trying to play no more. And what kind of impact you think a man that he's 37?
Yeah.
What is he supposed to come and do? And he didn't play all of 2023. I get it though. Fans always go back to the names that they're most familiar with, but come on, man. Like these dudes be at home not playing for a reason.
We look at the Bears. It looks like Braxton Jones, left tackle, is out. So he on injury reserve. That's the best guy. I wonder if they move Darnell Wright. I don't know if he can play both spots. But Darnell Wright, he's healthy. He's on the right side though. Braxton Jones,
Wright.
And I thought I heard Tevin Jenkins is not painted red, but I thought I heard Tevin Jenkins may not play. So I could be wrong. Anybody Chicago watching, you can correct me on that. But
even when they was playing, they was terrible. So y'all gonna be extra terrible? That might be beneficial for our offense. Our defensive line. Maybe they need a game like that to boost their confidence up.
They still got Kyler Gordon. They still got Jalen Johnson. Kevin Byard. They got a talented defense in some spots, but I think they can get guys. I think it don't even matter, man. I really don't. I don't think it don't matter who they have out there this week. I just think the line's gonna do what needs to be done. Period. You know what I mean? Just like you said, how that game turned out last week. What the media have been saying. I think that it's just not going to be, a Lions team, from the 80s going to come out there and just get ran over. I don't believe that. So
I do want to ask you about the running backs. We can get back to that real quick. I know people probably didn't hear that earlier in the show. If you're Ben Johnson, you went from Jahmyr Gibbs having his versatility and having that paired with David Montgomery. We all know exactly what type of power back David Montgomery is. Now you got what? 4 versatile backs, and we've been trying to tell like Lions fans to, instead of looking at the Montgomery injury as curtains for us, look at what
Mhm.
you do have. Look at what you do have remaining in that running back room. Now we can play 4 running backs if we choose to.
Yeah.
Think about the versatility Ben Johnson now has, because none of those other guys are power backs. Jamar Jefferson is a versatile back.
Mhm.
Vaki is an athlete and a versatile back. Craig Reynolds, they're very familiar with Craig Reynolds. They're comfortable with Craig Reynolds. They're going to give Craig Reynolds probably majority of the carries outside of Gibbs. But these are all guys that are different from what Montgomery was. They're more versatile guys that can also receive the ball out of the backfield.
Mhm.
Do you know
Yeah.
how? Do you understand how difficult it's going to be to defend our offense now? I just want Lions fans to just think about this. 4 versatile backs now who can all catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
As
put.
yeah,
You can get creative and put. You can line. You can go shotgun and put 5. 5 receivers out there. Say had Gibbs in the slot, St. Brown on the other side, or put Jameson Williams in motion and let him go free. I mean, like you said, it's the possibilities is endless, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, versatility with interchangeable pieces out there. You know,
not to discredit Montgomery, because like when you say that, some people feel like you trying to say Montgomery is he's not worthy, or we're not going to miss him. I think we're going to miss him
oh
on
yeah,
the
for sure.
field, but he's not
Tough
going
yard.
nowhere. The man didn't pass away. Like he's still going to be around the team, coaching and helping but not coaching, but yeah, coaching to a certain
Coaching to an
extent on
extent.
the
Yep.
sidelines. Yeah,
See
so
this. I'm glad you thought. I'm glad you said that because I was worried about this, but I think Jamar Jefferson and Vaki might fill that role. You know how the Lions a lot of times, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, we turn around and hand it to Montgomery, man. You know what I'm saying? He would get the first down on 3rd and 5 instead of obvious
yeah.
passing down. Ben Johnson had the luxury of always giving Montgomery the rock every time. Teams knew it was coming, they still couldn't do nothing, right? So that's the only thing I was thinking about. Like when we need that, when we still want to run it and be dominant, like who's gonna be the guy? And I'm thinking Jefferson is a little bit bigger than Gibbs, and I'm thinking maybe Jeff or maybe Vaki, maybe the rookie gets a shot. I think that's part of our team, man. Where
Vaki does run hard too.
we need to get that 3rd and 5 running it. You know what I'm saying? To really get our confidence going. You know what I'm saying? So and then people was talking about, well, you think Dan Campbell's still gonna go for it on 4th down? And listen, he's still gonna play the same. I don't think coach the same, not play the same, coach the same. So I don't think that's gonna change his coaching style one bit. You know what I mean? They ain't go for it anyway. So it don't even really matter like how the defense is playing or anything like that. So
Hey man,
um uh,
somebody came in the comment
yeah, I
section.
like that. Yeah, yeah. DP, yeah, anytime touchdown,
Plus
yeah.
70-50?
Plus 750 for
Mm.
Vaki. Wow. Wow. That's I like
Anytime, boy.
anytime touchdown. Wow. I like that. I could see in a blowout, have him in there, shit Gibbs out, give him the rock late. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we didn't do our point spreads this week because like I said, it was a lot a lot going on with our team, man, and the injuries. And I think, Walt,
Yeah.
before we get out of here tonight, we can just pretty much just tell me where, like, what is your expectations? Okay, like moving forward. I mean, I'm not saying you got to say Super Bowl or anything like that, but what I'm saying is, okay, do you think I'll ask this question? Do you think the division is still the division number 1 seed? You think both of those things still in play? You think? I mean, we're in the playoffs, so
Yeah, I
you
think
think?
both are still attainable.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
I
just
trust this football team, man. I really do. I really do. I trust the coaching staff. And as a Lions fan, this is the first time ever we've been able to say this. I trust my OC. I trust my DC. I trust my HC. I trust the linebacker coach. I trust the
mm,
quarterback coach and Mark Brunell. I
mm,
trust Jared Goff. I trust Amara St. Brown. I trust that if you give Ben Johnson 4 running backs to use instead of just 2, he's going to have a field day. They're going to figure out more ways to generate more points offensively, because I think it's obvious now. Dan
yeah,
Campbell mentioned it the last few press conferences. Offense got to carry the load. It is what it is. Like, that's the elephant in the room. Like, we can't sit up and pretend that we don't see our defense is destroyed and our offense is ascending still. We need y'all to hold things up. Now we still need the defense to get timely takeaways and stops. And we talked about it that a few days ago. Is do we need you to hold defenses? I mean, hold opposing offenses to 20 points or less? No, I don't expect you to hold opposing offenses under 20 anymore. We don't have the personnel to hold opposing offenses under 20 anymore. I need you to get off the field at least 40% of the time. Think about that. And 40% of the time is still bad. They didn't get off the field 40% of the time last week against Buffalo. You're not
Yeah.
beating anybody just giving up touchdown, 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 field goal, touchdown. Like, that's not going to work. I
Yeah.
need you to get timely stops and get a takeaway here and there. That's a
Yeah.
key, man. Create short fields for your offense. If you're defensively, if you can't get the stops and you find yourself giving up all these 12, 13, 14 play drives, you got to start creating some takeaways.
Yeah.
Your best defense is to get Jared Goff and that offense extra possessions. So yeah, I'm not now the way I view this team, man, and what I expect this team to probably still win out. It's gonna really F people up after this Buffalo Bills loss that this team turned around and won 3 straight. I think they beat the Bears. I think they go to San Francisco and beat a depleted San Francisco 49ers team. And I think they come back home week 18 with a lot still to play for against a division rival, beat up at home,
Mm-hmm.
a rocking Ford Field with probably number one seed still in play because I don't think Philly loses. I think Philly
Mm-hmm.
gonna keep on winning too.
Yep.
And they close out the season in style and they beat the Vikings. I trust this team too much, man. And for fans that say, well, you're just being a homer, you're just ignoring the injuries. This team has, since the Dallas Cowboy game, given me no reason to believe they not tough enough to still do this. They lost last week. I get it. But for a lot of people who see, I told you those injuries gonna catch up to them, they will catch up to them. You also spent the last 11 weeks saying that. So a broke clock is right twice a day. Yeah, for the most
Yeah.
part. Yeah, so for the most part, look at my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you are eventually going to be right. When the Lions lost, you were eventually going to be right. But
Yeah.
nah, I trust this team too much, man. Dan Campbell, they're gonna have this team prepared. They haven't lost back-to-back games, almost 2 full seasons. I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens, man. I trust this team. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just that's what I believe. I just think that
Yeah.
they're
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, because I'm still at the win the division board. You know, I like I said, I think Minnesota's gonna be damn tough. Like I said at Green Bay, but Green Bay's out of it pretty much because they can't really because we got the tiebreaker. But
swept them.
but Minnesota will be tough. I think, like you said, it still can be done. And that's the farthest I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking each playoff game by game. That's what I'm gonna say. Can we get the division in the number one seed? Absolutely, we can. You know what I mean? That I don't even have to repeat. I could just repeat your statement and just agree with you because that's how I feel about it too. You know what I mean? When we get into the playoffs, whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see where we at first. You know what I'm saying? To see what we see who in front of us and that type of thing. But like I said, I think the Lions have built a culture where they've built a team, built a setting. They've built a belief system within themselves, man, within the organization. They just feel like what they're doing, and I think Ralphie even said it. You know, they have a system and you can just put guys in there and it's going to work because it's the right system. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's working. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a good point by Ralphie. And I think that's what these guys they believe in. I think everybody's getting behind what Dan Campbell said about living it up with the filet mignon. You know, we've been with the upper echelon of the NFL lately, the last couple of years. people respecting us again and people saying this or that. You know what I mean? And now, to lose one, now it's like, man, it was kind of humbling. Like y'all ain't did nothing yet. Y'all ain't made it to y'all first Super Bowl. Y'all haven't done any of that yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's for me. I look at the offense. I think that the offense can be really catapult us into a different dimension, man. Because think about, how much pressure it is. Look at how Buffalo had us. Like, damn, we got to score every time we get the ball. When you able to score on a team, man, and you able to put pressure on them, knowing that, just knowing they have to score like you to keep pace, that's a lot of pressure on the other team, man. You know what I'm saying? That was the only reason why I didn't like the onside kick. Yeah, I don't even want to get into the decision, but what I'm saying is I didn't like it at the time because it was 38-28,
We
and the
went an hour
Lions.
and 5 minutes without mentioning it.
Yeah, and the Lions totally. Well, we had the momentum. That was a
Yeah,
momentum
man.
killer. That was a momentum killer. We had the momentum, and then it was like and then the rest was history. But what I'm saying is, I think if you put pressure on the other team to score, they gonna make some mistakes. They gonna think they have to be flawless to even stay with you. So the Lions can put pressure on teams by being able to score. You know what I mean? And I think that they that's how they're gonna have to finish out this season and throughout the playoffs, man. And you can do it. It can be done. We've seen the Saints, we've seen the Colts, we've seen teams that's been a juggernaut on offense and not great on defense and still able
That
to.
Packers team with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
That defense
2010.
wasn't really good all season, and
Yeah.
remember they couldn't run the football either all season. But what happened in the playoffs? Unsung heroes.
Mhm.
Remember James Starks came from out of nowhere
Yeah,
to
running
lead
the
them in
rock. Yeah.
rushing for that whole playoff run. Clay Matthews played out of his mind that playoff run. The defense was the Tramon Williams, the cornerback. He
Mhm.
was playing out his mind. So
Yeah.
just because things look a certain way during the regular season doesn't mean that's how things gonna unfold in the playoffs. Sometimes defenses rise to the occasion and play 50% better than they played in the regular season. Sometimes offenses take a step back because a team had 2 weeks to prepare for you, or they had a full week to prepare for you. Remember how bad Peyton Manning used to play in the playoffs
Yep.
before he started winning? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
I heard Tony Dungy one time. He was saying that the playoffs is different, and he pretty much was asking some of his players, like, can you give me 8 good rushes this game? You know what I'm saying? Like, give me that. That's the way I think you got to approach it. You know what I'm saying? You're
difference
not
making
playing
plays.
right. Give me 10 good. You tell Zadarius, give me 10 plays, man. Say 8 plays where you win and you just pile drive your guy going getting to the corner. That's what matters. What I'm saying? Look at Chris Jones. Chris Jones does, maybe not even heard from the whole game, like really statistically or anything like that. But man, when it's money time, when it's winning time, like Mark Jackson said, players show up, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like you said, it don't take a lot. Terry Arnold, that's another guy. I'm highlighting Terry Arnold. I got to ask you about his
CB1
game.
now.
Yep.
Pressure on him.
And I think that I laugh. I know I'm gonna get killed for saying this, but I'm not worried, man. I'm not. I know he done had all kind of problem pass interferences. I think he went some games without getting one, and I think he finally had one against the Packers. I think it was, but
Well, that's
I'm
a
gonna
good
say this.
question. Are you worried about that with him and Amik out there?
No, I was just gonna say I think that Terry Arnold. I think one of these last 3 games. He gonna get his first pick. I really believe that. I think he's got to grow up. Yeah, he gonna get beat. I mean, yeah, the way he plays, I think calls for sometimes to give up a big play or two. You know what I mean? And we know we got to live with that sometimes, and that's okay. But I think that I think Terran Arnold's fine, man. I really do. I don't think that I'm more worried about Vildor. Way more worried about him, man. You know what I'm saying? I
I'm
don't have
worried
no.
altogether, brother. Because like
I,
it's now you talking about a rookie being your number one corner, and you take Amik Robertson from the slot and you put him out there on the perimeter. Because I'm assuming Amik is going to the outside, unless you can put Vildor on the outside.
well,
Like I
that's
don't.
what Aaron Glenn was saying. They can switch them up. Yeah, I think they're gonna play a little bit
Oh,
of both. He said Branch is still nickel. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. I wonder how much Mosley's going to be in. I know it's a big ask, or you haven't seen him play or anything. We haven't seen him play, but Mosley might be. He might be in there. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Might be a difference maker.
So
We
yeah,
need somebody because I mean, if him or Melifonwu don't come back, or both of them don't come back,
yeah,
we're gonna have to play a shitload of cover two because a Meek and Terrion on the outside gonna need a ton of help over the top.
yeah.
And
That
that's gonna
man,
take away from what our safeties can do, versatility wise. That Carlton Davis injury, man,
I hurt.
I understood losing the other guys we lost, but Carlton gave up plays. I don't care about him giving up plays because as a corner, you're gonna give up catches.
Hmm.
You're gonna give up touchdowns from time to time, but do you bounce back?
Yeah.
He always bounced back with a forced fumble, interception. He had 2 interceptions in the Houston Texans game, a big time pass breakup on third down, a couple of them. He always atones for his mess ups,
Hmm.
and he's a vet that won the Super Bowl with Tampa. So we losing that out there on the field, losing that voice out there in the field, I think is key too. But yeah, that cornerback situation, man, it does kind of worry me because I think being weak at the corners, because make no mistake about it, we weak at the corners now. We're not weak at safety, but we're weak at the corners, and we weak on the interior of our defensive line. So it's going to have to be a large amount of game planning. They're going to have to figure some things out because our safeties are used to having quality cornerback play now, so they can roam and do more things. If our safeties got to stay in cover two 70% of the game, 80% of the game, because we don't want Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua to destroy them all down the perimeter, or who else can really throw the football in the NFC? Okay, AJ Brown and them. As much
Hmm.
as we talk about the Eagles' passing game, a lack thereof, if we don't have any interior pressure, and we don't have any corners out there, you talking about AJ Brown and Devontae Smith versus Vildor and Terrion Arnold?
Hmm.
That don't sound too
Right.
good. it don't. So it's gonna be interesting, man. And I'm excited to see this Bears game mainly because I'm interested to see what adjustments AG's made this quick.
Hmm.
Granted, the Bears ain't really much measuring stick wise, and I get that. We'll get more from San Francisco, maybe, and for damn sure the Minnesota game. But it's gonna be interesting to see exactly on the fly what adjustments AG's been able to make. But all right, man, we can go ahead and wrap this up. You got
Yeah.
anything else you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, no. Before we get out here, I'm expecting a W. I mean, they're flat out. If no if
JMO,
ands, but
touchdown.
yeah, yeah, no if and buts about it. I expect a W, and that's it, man. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see like how where this thing goes from here. You know what I'm saying? How dynamic the offense is. Something to get excited about because now, and then that's the thing. The Bears not going to be ready for anything. I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's unexpected. I don't think that. I don't think they're going to have a game
Yeah,
plan to even know what we doing, man. To be honest with you, so that's why I think it's going to be a lopsided game. So
100% agree. That made complete sense. Complete sense. All right, so that covers the game. I know some of those numbers could possibly change before Sunday, Sunday afternoon, early Sunday afternoon, but for the most part, we don't expect too much to change unless um, drastic things happen in the injury report on the Lions' behalf. I don't think there's anything on the Bears' behalf as far as guys playing right now or not playing that could change anything on their behalf. Because I think Detroit is still the better team for the most part. Vegas just want to get y'all to bet some money. But all right, man, we will probably be back. What, Sunday night? Maybe
yeah,
be back Sunday night. Break down the game. Hopefully, we'll be breaking down a Detroit Lions win and not doing damage control, trying to get people from jumping off the building again. Because whenever the Lions lose now, which has only been twice this season, people was ready to jump off a building behind it. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Y'all stuck with us for an hour and 14 minutes. Really appreciate it. Love all y'all in the comment section. Very, very bright and articulate Lions fans. We appreciate y'all showing up every single show for us, every live stream. Make sure y'all go over to YouTube, hit like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done it. Really appreciate it. Till next time, one pride.